This is the part 2 and the conclusion of the story titled My Blind Husband. Remember, in the part 1 of this story, we talked about Mr. Gabriel and his wife, Mrs. Gladys. How Mrs. Gladys was dealing badly with Mr. Gabriel simply because Mr. Gabriel, her husband, was blind. To the point that Mrs. Gladys brought her boyfriend home, believing that the husband would not see or notice what was going on. And we were told that the boyfriend was a medical doctor. Now the story continues. Here is the boyfriend, Dr. Michael. Dr. Michael was coming out of his apartment walking down the street when he found Mr. Gabriel seated outside all alone. It was so obvious to him that things has become so hard for him. He came by and stood, walked close to him to discuss with him. He sat by his side and started talking with him and asked him why he was seated outside. And he took time to explain to him what he has been going through. He took time to tell him more about him and his wife. Dr. Michael was so surprised because the wife told him that she was not married. She never told him she was married, and she told him that the person he found when he came to their house was her cousin. Now things has become so clear to Dr. Michael, and now he has interest in helping Mr. Gabriel. He booked an appointment with Mr. Gabriel to pick him up the next day from this place, and they greeted and he left. As God may have it, he took Mr. Gabriel to the hospital and gave him the possible treatment he had, and believing that everything was going to work out fine because his eyes case was not a difficult one. Mr. Gabriel came back home very happy and was seated outside very happy, believing that God has answered his prayer when the wife came in. Became so aggressive and was so annoying, shouting that he must explain to him who did this to him. Of course, she knew it was Dr. Michael, her friend, that did this, so she had to leave the house and rush out to meet Dr. Michael for explanation. When she came to Dr. Michael, she told Dr. Michael to tell her his plans. That his plans was to blind her husband completely. That she has been doing everything possible to bring back the sight, and she knew what she was doing. Why did she come into the issue without her notice? And Dr. Michael asked her what she has been applying on the eyes or the treatment she has been giving to him to regain his sight, that she should explain to him. She told him that she has been treating it in a native way, that her grandfather happened to be a man well known for eye cases, that her grandfather has told her what to do, that in the nearest future, 2 or 3 years, that the man will regain his sight. She took time to explain to Dr. Michael exactly how the treatment has been going on. She has never allowed anybody to come in between her and her husband when it comes to her husband's sight. Even when her friend intervened to tell her to take her husband to the hospital for proper treatment, but she refused and asked her friend to get out of the house and asked her friend to stop coming to her house. Dr. Michael told her that the treatment he has given to her husband is the best treatment he could get, that applying those water from that leaf can lead to total blindness. But she refused and warned Dr. Michael never to be seen around her or her husband or in her house or anywhere again. After that warning, she left. But Dr. Michael has decided that whatever it will cost, let it cost. Dr. Michael has decided to be in that case no matter what happens. Few weeks after, it was time for Dr. Michael to remove the bandage round Mr. Gabriel's head, as everyone believed that he was totally healed. This is Chioma, a sister to Mr. Gabriel's wife. She heard about what has been going on between her sister and her husband, and she decided to visit. And it happened to be that on that day, Mr. Gabriel is getting his treatment. Let's watch and see if Mr. Gabriel will regain his sight. Let's watch. Glory be to God, everything is okay right now. I know you'll be wondering where Mrs. Gladys, Mr. Gabriel's wife, happened to be on a day like this. Before we disclose where Mrs. Gladys has been, let us hear this story. Dr. Michael told the family what happened, how he found Mrs. Gladys. They met in the hospital when she came to remove a baby, and he started asking her some questions about that. If she's married, why has she decided to remove the baby? She said nothing. She lied to him, and he went on to encourage her to have the baby. But it happened that when he was not on duty, she went ahead with a different doctor to carry out the operation. He told them that he had nothing serious with the woman. Though when what happened, they became friends and started talking. She wanted to know more about her and encourage her to desist from such acts. It was when he came to the house with her that he discovered that she was married, and he found the husband blind and decided to be of help. Even against her own wish, he decided to carry the cross no matter what happens. And thank God that today Mr. Gabriel has regained his sight. Mr. Gabriel narrated few things that he noticed that happened, and said that there was a day Mrs. Gladys told him that he cannot keep the baby for a man who is blind, that a blind man doesn't deserve a baby, that a blind man cannot take care of himself, talk more of taking care of a baby or a woman, that he must do what she has to do to remove the baby. And he told them that he heard that her wife has traveled to the city with another man who is maltreating her badly now. And the sister said yes, and that was why she came, to know what happened and see if there's anything that could be done for peace to return. But the husband told them that he can no longer be with such a woman, that it is very risky to live with such a person. He gave her a message for the family that Mrs. Gladys should just remain in her father's house for now. Let him put himself together. Then when he's done thinking about this marriage, he will now know if the marriage will continue or for it to remain like that. It is so obvious that in this life, a lot of people are willing to marry, but most of them are not ready for marriage. Of course, willingness is not readiness. Being willing to marry is not being ready to marry. They are two different things. As a man, once you see a woman and you have the desire to marry that woman, ask yourself the question, am I only willing or am I ready for this marriage? And as a woman, before you accept any bidding for marriage, ask yourself, am I just willing or am I ready to be with this man in marriage? Ask yourself that question. For more information on how to be ready for marriage, how to be sure that you are ready and not just willing, please follow us on this page and share this video. Share this video for others to learn from this video, and follow us on this page. You will learn a lot from our video. And contact me on WhatsApp by using my number on the screen, and we are going to talk. I'll keep sharing videos to you. I'll keep talking to you so that you will get what it means to be ready for marriage. Thank you so much, and God bless you. And don't forget, this is House of the Sons Global. See you next time. Thank you so much for being here with us in House of the Sons Global, watching our videos. My phone number is on the screen, and I would love to hear from you. Please follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And don't forget to share our videos with your friends, okay? And please, if you want to support House of the Sons Global financially, the account information is on the screen. Thank you so much, and don't forget, this is House of the Sons Global. Let's go. Action. Now, when that happens, back, well. Action. You return it fast. You return it together with the head. Action.